Welcome back to Pensantes, a channel that I started 3 months ago with the promise that I would bring to you the most normal and weird people. And today, we have a very interesting one. She was a happy child, later became a pastor at a megachurch, and eventually left to make her own journey. Today, we get a glimpse into this human who makes you smile fully, even if you have a stroke. And I think we can find out what the secret to her happiness is.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. See, these are all questions for you.
Oh my god.
And then we can always go off topic. I do it all the time.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Why do you think I asked you if you wanted to be interviewed?
Because we were in a workout class together and I was super yappy.
And I really thought of you because I think you have like this bright presence to you. And I told you that when we took that walk. The biggest source of happiness for you is where?
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is actually kind of hard because this is just something I've naturally had my whole life, which feels a little crazy. Like my dad used to joke around that I was bit by the happy bug when I was little and it just kind of never went away. And I think the main source of my happiness and my joy is recognizing beauty in just everyday life. And it's from everything. Like even on the bike right here, my mind was blown by all the pink trees, and I biked underneath a row of them, and at that exact second, all the petals started to fall. And there's all these magical moments, beautiful, tiny little things that happen all day long, our entire lives. I just always feel freaking stoked about all of the beauty that's going on around me. In my community, that is probably the biggest thing. My friends are my entire life, and they're such beautiful, romantic, talented, creative people, and I'm just like, oh my god, you guys are like so cool. I can't believe that you actually want to be friends with me. Very beautiful marriage, and a lot of that is because of our friend group and our community. And so I think your community really is everything, and with the way that the world is going and things feel really hard and things are expensive and there's a lot of shit that we need to fight against, but if you don't have your solid community pouring into you, it's going to make that a lot harder, and you just kind of feel lonely and sad. So my friends, they're my life. Being here, being in a walkable city. I don't drive, I bike and I ride my bus, and it's great. Not
So,
perfect, but it's great.
If you were a kitchen utensil, what would you be and why?
Okay, probably I love a good bowl. And a bowl can just be used for anything, especially ice cream. Made by a ceramicist that probably just started, so there's probably some bumpy parts or some things that aren't quite right, but it's a very bright bowl that you use specifically for ice cream, but sometimes maybe cereal at nighttime.
How about the silliest purchase that you have made?
The silliest purchase.
And maybe one that you defended after, like.
What is the silliest purchase I've ever made? That one's it's not that silly, but I do love to send gifts to my nieces and nephews in Texas. Ice creams that they can't get in little East Texas because it's so fun for them to open up a package of like the dry ice. For some reason, kids love dry ice. It like blows their minds, that whole concept of this could kill me and it's also keeping my ice cream cool. So probably that, although it's not silly, it was a more fun one that I've had in the past few months.
On the purchases, I'm thinking that maybe you do make really good purchases. If you struggle to come up with a silly one, maybe you are buying things that you need.
I'm pretty practical. Matt and I are, practical, pretty wise with our finances. We're, saving up for an international move right now. So I'm thinking every single thing that I buy, I'm like, would I move this across the world?
Do you already feel like a Kiwi?
Gosh, a little bit.
Yeah.
I love them. I want the accent. The Kiwis that I've met so far, and we're most likely moving to New Zealand, and not everyone, but you know what I mean. The people that I have met seem very community focused, very open, very kind. They love the earth, they love their country, they love each other, and they're kind of just here for a good time, and I relate to that a lot. I'm not trying to grind until I die. I'm not trying to get super rich. I don't want to be famous. That's gross. But I do want to live a happy life, and I felt that energy very prevalent there. 75-year-olds are just lapping me on hikes, and in that way I hope I can be as healthy as they are whenever we get older, because they're a fit.
One of the secrets of these like small or big island countries is just living slowly. Stress, it does lower your immune system.
And it makes you ugly.
Yeah. Wow, that explains so much for me.
Oh, please.
How about, no, I'm joking. I am very handsome. I feel handsome. So, okay, how about your favorite hobbies right now? Because, you know, people go through phases.
Yeah.
So where are you right now?
Well, reading forever. I'm a massive, massive book nerd. And I also just have been into watercolor. Bought a kit, and it's really fun because there's like, right now the one I'm working on is a fall kit, and there's a YouTube video along with it. And so they teach you that you can't really mess it up. So I have like a very amazing teacher that's on the screen, and I'm just painting along with her, and they turn out beautiful, and it's so fun. Our friends are actually having an art show next weekend that's just for our friends. Really shitty art, great art, Lego sets, and our friends' kids are submitting as well. And then we're having performances throughout the night as well. Matt's gonna play his flute, and our buddy Steven's gonna play piano.
How supportive is this group?
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
I just feel like friendship is kind of my entire purpose. Like, yeah, my friends are my everything.
You told me a little bit about your upbringing in Texas, conservative family, traditional values. Were you a happy kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a happy kid.
How about like a fond memory that you may have from age 4 through 10?
Well, I'm a Texan, so I grew up riding horses. And how did you have a horse that, I mean, we're in Texas, so a lot of us did. But yes, it's a little yippee-ki-yay. Go mudding and go through all the creeks, but my parents said no four-wheeler, we're getting you a horse instead, and felt slighted by that when I was little. But now I look back and I'm like, the heck, that was like the most magical childhood ever. So after school I would come home, get on my horse, ride her bareback through the woods, and I had this little spot called a reading tree, and it was basically just a big tree which was big enough to support me, and it was over a little creek, and I would just tie her to the tree and climb up there and read my little tree until my parents, you know, it was like the 80s, and so we kind of guessed when it was time to come home.
Did they ever get like a rope to get you?
A rope to get me. They should have. I was such a wild child. That would have been really handy. But I just hung out into the woods until it was time to go home, and then we would trot all the way back, and it was the best. I've always just been in the woods.
What is something that as a kid you knew you would become as an adult? Is there something that you have that as a kid you envisioned?
Yeah. Well, I knew from a pretty young age that I didn't want children and that I didn't want to be a mom. And I think that freaked some people out. I came into that realization very, 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 very young. And voicing that to my family was, you know, met with some, oh, you'll change your minds, or like, sure, whatever. Thankfully now they're still very cool with that. My husband's obviously cool with that. But that was just something I knew from when I was little. That just wasn't something that I wanted to do.
About a trait that you would bring from 10-year-old or 11-year-old Laura, what trait would you bring now to your adult self?
Oh man, I was a little justice warrior when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Started a bunch of clubs that didn't really go anywhere, like Save the Endangered Species Club. A member of one, it was me. I couldn't really rally the neighborhood kids to get too into that. I had like an anti-bullying campaign in the neighborhood for a while.
Oh, you were a pioneer.
I guess so.
Because that movement started, I feel like, like maybe the last 5-7 years.
I know,
You were a
but
pioneer.
there's been little mean freaking kids from like the beginning of time.
I know, yeah.
And I wasn't having it on my street. I'm like, we are not doing this just because, just blatantly wrong, speaking out against that. But I do love that I was a very fiery kid, and I've always kind of had that root in me. And I don't think that was I was raised very strict Southern Baptist.
Yeah.
I don't think it came from that, although it may have.
I think it does take courage, you know, to like stand up for someone. Because most of us, when we see the injustice, we obviously recognize it, but we almost feel frozen, or we're afraid of like consequences. Like, if I stand up now, is that person gonna lash out on me?
Totally.
So courageous for sure.
Yeah. Odd kid that I think I wasn't worried about what anyone would think, because I was already a bit of an interesting, odd child. At that point, I was like, I don't care if these people like me or not, but we're not doing this. Questions? You spent some time on these.
Half of these I just made up. Because we have to go off script sometimes. Do you feel like you had the support that you needed, like going through it?
Yeah.
12 through 18?
I do. I was like kind of the wild, my boyfriends, I loved them straight out of juvenile detention. So, which my parents hated. I'm like, the wilder, the more drugs, if you stolen a car, if you have like are in JDC, let's hang out. Again, conservative Southern Baptist child, like raised super Christian, was just the worst thing ever. And I ended up marrying a very wild but very sweet man.
You already had this deviant way of looking at the world.
Deviant,
so
I like it.
What was that like for you? You know, because you have to be in such a constraining place.
Well, I'm not in it anymore. So you can see how that ended. But I think as like a teenager, I hung out with all these wild people, but I never was doing drugs. I wasn't drinking. I still stayed very much in my lane, which is also kind of interesting to me because, again, I just never really cared. Peer pressure has never worked. It's not going to work on me. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it, which saved me a lot of heartache, I think, when I was like 13 to 17. But as I started to get older, that's when it really started to come to play, is I don't agree with the way that I'm being told to live. And I was a youth pastor, and I also didn't agree with the way that I was making other junior high and high school kids feel.
Yeah.
And I've almost been fired for every church that I've worked at. And I worked like you might have seen the viral Christmas pageants from the churches on TikTok. Like I worked at mega churches like that, 23,000 members. We would fly freaking people from the ceilings dressed as angels. You bring live camels in. It was a whole thing. I've worked at a lot of churches like that and a lot of smaller ones, and I just couldn't get behind like the organized religion of it all. And I still hold a fondness for, there are certain things that I think are really good about it, like take care of people that are in need or just love everyone. But a lot of the other, once the evangelical Trumpy stuff came into play, I was gone.
Yeah, honestly, it's a very wild place just to be in. Like, church is one thing, but a mega church is almost like its own category.
Yeah.
What kind of pastor were you? Like, what was your style for, the part where you do the speech part, the service?
Yeah, I was very relaxed, approachable, not very judgy, and I loved these kids, and so I wanted to have an openness about me where if they needed anything, any time of day, they could always come to me, and they did, which I loved. I felt like I just had 400 little brothers and sisters that I was just kind of helping navigate through junior high and high school. And because I was a woman, I wasn't really allowed to preach a lot. I could just kind of tell stories, or I was only allowed on stage in very small instances because I was a girl, which is a whole nother thing that I was against.
So I meant to ask, did they make you wear dresses and skirts? Because I know they don't like pants on in that environment.
Well, on like Sunday mornings I had to wear dresses and things. Also when I worked at like the big mega church, there was like once so the church is huge, right? And then the office where the big pastors were, it was at the opposite end of where the youth ministry pastor offices were. And so there was I remember there was a line in the floor, not one that they put there, but it was just like a crack in the ground. And we had to be dressed a certain way if we wanted to cross that. So it was kind of like entering the Holy of Holies, where we had to really have, the guys had to have their ties and their suits and their jackets, and I had to have a dress that wasn't slutty, and it was like a whole thing. There were just things that didn't make sense to me. Like at one point, so they had, I don't want this to be like a church bashing interview, but these are my experiences. And well, I'm not there anymore, but there was like a drawer that there were gift cards, and so if people needed groceries or baby formula or whatever, you could come and get these gift cards. But we only had the budget for a certain amount, and so I remember one time I was passing the office and a lady was in who wanted formula for her child and who wanted the grocery card, and they were like, sorry, we're out. But then I look outside and they're literally lining a massive driveway with American flags, and I'm like, I don't.
How about your first kiss? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, Squishy Lip Steve.
Was it in church?
No, okay. It wasn't in church. It was, I nicknamed him Squishy Lip Steve because I didn't realize that lips are so squishy, and because I've never kissed anyone before. I mean, I have my own lips, but just mashing your lips against someone else's is actually pretty squishy. In 9th grade was a catch. Steve was a babe, and we were at his house and watching a movie, and he kissed me, and I didn't love it. And then he told me he loved me the next day, and I broke up with him. So it just wasn't. Kissing didn't become fun until the juvenile delinquent that I dated after that. And kid prison for a while, but you know.
Spicy, huh?
Yeah, spicy.
Yeah.
I know he still calls me, unfortunately. I had to change my number twice. So
Wow. You've made an impression on him.
I guess.
What's your favorite drink?
Oh my God, I love tequila. Just a simple tequila, sparkly water, lime. I still love cocktails. I mean, Portland, oh my gosh, there's so many, but anything with tequila in it. But IPA, I'm not sexy enough for that.
So you know how we all change slightly under the influence. When you think of your drunk self, because you're already a happy person by default.
It gets happier.
Really?
I start chatting to everyone. I want to buy everyone shots. I'm like making best friends out of the girls in the bathroom. Matt gets kind of grumpy. To me, he's been like, babe, it's not grumpy. It's just I'm so sweet to you all the time that when I drink, I just get a little more stern in my voice. And you interpret that as like being mean and grumpy, which he's probably right because he's such like a sweetheart. But I get happier, but I also get sleepy and I get ready to go home.
How do your friends take it? The group here.
A lot of them don't drink. There's a big sobriety curiosity going through my friend group. And, you know, I'm 44, and so I don't want to wake up at 3 a.m. thirsty with a headache, and I'm trying to go to jacked. I'm trying to go to the gym at like 9 or 10 a.m. or yoga. We're very chill. So last week, our friends bought a limo, and we went out in it all night and didn't get home till 3. But that is very rare.
Did you stick out your head?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
hell yeah, it was so fun. They bought a limo just for the bit, just because we're adults with adult money.
Where did you park the limo?
They found parking. Not quite like legal parking, but we were just there for a little. And like, who's gonna take a limo? That's crazy.
So we're learning a lot about your husband, one quality of his, and give it to everyone in town or even yourself. What would that be?
He's so deeply kind. His patience, where he's never frustrated at people. So the person in front of you in line has 57 coupons and they're writing a check, fine. If we're walking and the people in front of us are like walking slow, or you know, they keep like weaving back and forth, he's unfazed. So just sweet. Yeah, no, I get road rage and I don't even drive.
Yeah, you need to get Matt for president.
I know.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question. If you were president,
hell no.
Or queen for one day,
hell no.
But hypothetical. What's just one law you would pass and everyone magically follows it?
First, I would erase anyone's medical debt or their college debt, education debt, and I would stamp in universal health care immediately because that is crazy. Okay, perfect society where I'm in charge. We have a 3-day work week and a living wage and universal health care. So we're not freaking stressed if we get in an accident or your kid gets sick. Or my sister's a single mom, and I've just known so many friends who've been laid off and are just so stressed about health care. I can't do it. We're eradicating that stress. And then everyone will be hotter because they won't be stressed.
Well, you have my vote. If you run for it.
But also I would never, because I don't want to be in the public eye.
I know. Okay, how about, you don't want to be in the public eye. Earlier you said you don't want to be famous because it would be embarrassing. What is...
Not embarrassing, just too much access.
Oh yeah, loss of privacy. For sure. Okay, how about your biggest goal just for the next 6 years for you?
Move to New Zealand and create a life there, a really beautiful life there with community. What would be the perfect situation is if I could go back and forth from Portland to Queenstown. If there were no limitations, that would kind of be the life that I wanted for us, I think. And all my friends could come and stay, you guys included. Just come over anytime.
West, right?
Yeah, so you're like, Hawaii is kind of in the middle.
I've been to Hawaii and I felt weird about being so long on top of the ocean. Because you know, I guess when you see land, there's a feeling of safety.
I know.
Even though you still explode and stuff. But what is it like to be on ocean that long?
It's a long flight. New Zealand is so small, but you don't really realize it. But that flight is kind of gnarly. But I mean, you just watch 16 hours, 7.5 6.5 movies and a nap and you're there. It's like pretty chill.
You know, people do different things. Like some people start doing laps in the hall,
that's wild.
in the aisle. Some people go to the back and like start doing. I do squats in the back.
You do squats in the back. You're a squat guy.
Like by the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And I'll try. I try not to get in anyone's way, but I try to do something to get the body moving. Is there something that you do, or maybe you're in the seat?
Yeah, I drink cocktails.
Okay, yeah, that would help. Yeah.
But there's I have my compression socks on, and I have my noise canceling headphones, and I have my sleep mask, and I have my cozy blanket. Yeah, what is going on right now?
So another hypothetical for you. If you could take, let's say waves of first graders are coming at you and you need to take them down. You're not gonna hurt them. You just need to drop them to the floor. So, and let's say they come at you in waves of 2. How many waves could you take?
Oh, I freaking love kids. I'm like, bring it on. I could probably take 27 waves.
54?
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, and the ground would be squishy.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Of course. Well, I'm deflecting because I have, I'm prepared. Candy in this hand, really cute plushies in this hand, and so they don't actually ever get to me because they get close and I throw the candy and they run, and the next group run, and I have a plan. I can get them away from me by tossing out all these treats.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to come for me, they're going to go for the plushie.
You could also grab one and use him to do like a round, you know? Like.
I would use my nephew because he could definitely take some kids out.
Or we'll allow it since it's hypothetical.
And he would be giggling the whole time.
So I am thinking about my last question. I like it to be thought-provoking.
It came to you in this time?
It came to me, yes. So, and also one, we'll finish it.
Because you know if you tears on empty glass, it's bad luck.
But it's not empty.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't have that right now, so hey, all the good luck I can get.
Everything's good about it. This is gonna be okay. So, all right. So here's the last question for you, Laura. There are no more questions after this. Okay.
God, I'm scared.
If someone came up to you, or many people, see how you are, we love the way you carry yourself, the way you treat others, etc. How can I be a good influence to people around me? What do you tell them?
I think if you go through life with the mindset of I want to leave people in a better headspace than I found them, whether that's just smiling at them, whether that's being kind and polite, whether you see someone is like struggling with something and you hold open the door or you help them carry their groceries in, or here's what I love. Coffee shop or a bar. I want to do something where I add just like a little spark in their day. Like I want to be a little lift for everyone. And there's some days obviously where I'm the one that needs the lift, but even on days where I'm feeling like shit, I think if I go into it trying to be that just like little serotonin spike for people, it really does make me happier. Yeah, I think that's a big key that drives me. Like, what creatively can I do? Can I ask them a question? Can I engage in some way? Can I help them with something? What gifts do I have in this moment to make someone else's day like a little happier, and just play with that energy and see what happens. It's a good time.
Beautiful, beautiful. I really like how complete your answer was. I feel like you were ready for that one. Yeah, that's it. I really appreciate it, Laura. I'm so flattered that you gave me your time.
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah.